And we're gonna explore one place, the Potato Bar. It blows my mind. It serves frozen potatoes covered in chocolate sauce and syrup. In this video, we're gonna explore the Northeast Heights parts of Albuquerque and figure out why it's one of the most desirable places to be in. We're gonna look at school ratings, explore the shopping, and I'm gonna show you the 5 best neighborhoods that you can be in this part of town. Plus, I'm gonna show you one restaurant whose main staple is frozen potato dessert. This is All About Albuquerque. Hey, it's Skip at Sold by Skip, and we post videos like this every week. So if it's the first time to the channel and you want to learn everything about Albuquerque, including what it's like to live here, work here, and play here, then be sure to tap that subscribe button and ring the little bell. That way you're notified every time we post a new video. Now, my team has been helping people from all over the world now buy and sell homes here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Rio Rancho, and we look forward to connecting with you too. So give me a call or shoot me a text. So in this video, we're gonna explore the northeast part of town. Now remember, Albuquerque is broken up into 4 quadrants: northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. So we're gonna find out why the northeast part of town is so desirable. For this tour, we're gonna stay on Tramway Boulevard, which connects I-40 all the way around the Heights to I-25. And we're gonna start on this tour by following Tramway through the Foothills. And this is one of the more desirable areas of town. Everybody wants to be closer to the mountain for all the various reasons. Attacks by grizzly bears and coyotes, losing your pets to wild animals in the middle of the night. No, it's the hiking, the biking, the outdoor sports and activities that the mountains bring. Plus, you're elevated. Albuquerque's in a V like this. So the Rio Grande Valley, the river runs through it. So if you're up on the northeast side of town, you can see all the way out west to the volcano's unobstructed views. So growing up, we lived in this neighborhood that's just in the foothills, and they had these really cool bridges that go over Tramway Boulevard. And I remember my dad would always get home from work at like 5:30. So no cell phones, no internet. So my mom, of course, would scramble and find ways to keep the kids excited. And we'd stand there and we'd just jump up and down, hoping that my dad would drive underneath it and we'd wave at him. Now the tramway bridges are iconic for their shape. So I'm gonna show you this one shopping center known as the Bridges. It's on Tramway and their logo is the bridge. You're gonna find a new brewery, taco shop, Thai food, and I found this one restaurant called the Potato Bar. So in the Potato Bar, you have your option of getting a frozen potato on a stick, and then they dunk it in chocolate sauce and put sprinkles on it. It's a weird concept, but think about it like this. If you're in between office meeting, you gotta carb up to stay awake for the last part of the afternoon. You wanna get A, the sugar rush, and then B, the carbohydrates of the potato to power you through the end of the day. And I think it's a wild concept. And in fact, dude, they have like 3 locations. Potato Bar, I don't know, check it out. So I'm gonna break down the top 5, maybe even 6 neighborhoods that you wanna be in if you're living in the Northeast Heights. We're gonna head east into the Foothills, and this is up Comanche Road. In this neighborhood, you can find a townhouse with a small HOA, or you can go up into the more established part the closer you get to the mountains. And here you're gonna find large established lots with big homes built in the 70s and 80s. And a lot of them have that unique characteristic of the time period that people love so much. Now imagine that you get a massive 3,000 square foot home. It's almost built into the side of the mountain. So the floor plans are gonna be a little quirky because you have to kind of build around the granite rock that exists there. So one thing to note is that in this area, and anytime you're closer to the mountain, you'll have a propensity for getting radon gas in your house. Now, radon gas is the 2nd leading cause of lung cancer, second only to tobacco smoke. And it comes from the decomposing granite in the Earth's crust and in the mountain, and it seeps up and gets stuck in some of the houses. Now, the good news is some of the older homes are not as airtight as the newer construction, so that radon will dissipate into the atmosphere. But when you're buying a home, we always want to do a radon test to ensure that the radon levels are safe. And it goes without saying, one of the pros of living next to the mountain is the hiking trails and the accessibility to everything that the mountain offers. You'll find access directly to the mountain and hiking trails in the foothills. And that comes with some pros and cons. Number one, bears are gonna eat your family. Number two, if you have small pets, they will go missing, coyotes, stuff like that. But the cool thing is you get to see deer traversing the landscape behind you. Sometimes they'll come in your yard and eat the grass as well. A lot of the times when people are relocating to work at Sandia Labs, Kirtland Airforce Base, they like the Northeast Heights. And the reason is because tramway runs straight to I-40 and I-40 goes straight into the labs or to Kirtland Air Force Base. Now in Albuquerque, one option that's great for sports clubs is New Mexico Sports and Wellness. It has, I think, 4 different locations, but in this neighborhood specifically, they have a club called High Point, bracket club, tennis, swim team for the kids. They have daycare facilities as well, and all the other benefits that go along with a health club, you know, like weightlifting, all that. Wait, did I just come from High Point, bro? But the swim team is always competitive. It's the High Point Sharks, I believe. But I was always forced as a kid to go to swim team. First of all, I hate swimming because swim team is always traditionally like 7 in the morning. So it's freezing and then they put you in like a little, you know, little Speedo suit and they just throw you in the water like 7 years old and be like, swim laps. And like these big kids are like swimming past me, like doing like 10 laps. I'm like lucky to do 1. Now my sister was like the Olympic swimmer. I mean, she set all the records for the club. Made me look like a schmuck. You know, that was like my way out. What if I drown? You know, this is gonna be your fault. And she's like, no, don't worry, we'll be there to protect you. And I was like, always like, yeah, but what if you go to the snack bar? Moving north, we get into a neighborhood that's known as Glenwood Hills. Again, this is in the foothills on the east side of Tramway. Fantastic grocery stores, options for dining, nice happy hour location. You get the access to the mountain. There's a few options for grocery shopping in this area. Smith's grocery store is a chain here in town. The Sprouts, which is an organic poor man's Whole Foods. So there are opportunities for organic shopping in the Northeast Heights. One thing that people love about Glenwood Hills is a sense of community here. In Glenwood Hills, there's some opportunity to buy some older homes. The problem is, while these homes are unique, because of the size of them, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to remodel them. If you have 3,500 square feet of carpet and paint and roofing, just keep that in mind, it does add up. Now, hopefully you can find a house that's already been rehabbed and has the mountain view, because that's gonna be a premium. Every year we try and go Christmas caroling in Glenwood Hills. Our mob of Christmas carolers has grown to be notorious. And when we first started out, we would knock on doors and people would answer, holiday joy coming your way. But the problem was it's always freezing. So they'd be like, okay, thank you guys, see you next year. A few different times, there's a car coming up the street with the mob will surround the car. Sounds terrible to say, a mob surrounds the car and just throws up Christmas joy. This poor driver who's obviously trying to get to another Christmas party. But you can imagine this whole like mob of people almost shaking the car. Now again, you can't do that in every neighborhood in Albuquerque, but Glenwood Hills is typically a friendly neighborhood with a good sense of community. So do me a favor and just go ahead and tap that like button, leave a comment below. One thing to note is that all neighborhoods in Albuquerque have designated park space. So we have more outdoor park space here than most other cities will. And all the parks are maintained by the city. As part of our city plan, one thing that they focused on was outdoor space and making it available. No matter what neighborhood you buy in, you should have access to a public park, at least within the area, the vicinity. Moving north a little bit, on the west side of Tramway Boulevard, you'll find Peppertree. Peppertree is an established neighborhood with large homes, huge trees growing in the community, which provides shade and more value. When this neighborhood first started out, the developer thought it would be, a good idea to plant trees and really, give this neighborhood some value. Has that nice shaded feel of old growth trees. What they didn't realize is that some of the trees, sycamore trees, grew so large that the roots absolutely destroyed the sidewalks. So if you're pushing like a stroller up and down the streets of Peppertree, you're gonna be going off-roading and probably spraining an ankle on the sidewalk. Here's a little bonus for you. There's a hidden neighborhood inside of Peppertree called Albuquerque Ranch Estates. Now this is an exclusive neighborhood, it's gated. We couldn't even get in there today to film it. But what you'll have is massive, like 5,000 square foot estates, usually on an acre lot behind a gate, so it's super secure. It's just a fun place to be if you can get inside the gates. In the northeast part of town, you're gonna get fantastic schools according to our friends at niche.com. I recommend visiting there, and really you can pull up any school in town and find out what their rating is. Don't take my word for it. I was a public school kid, but Georgia O'Keeffe is an elementary school with fantastic rating. La Cueva High School, El Dorado High School, and there's even options for brand new middle schools, and all of them have at least an 8 rating according to niche.com. The main competitor to Smith's grocery store would be Albertsons. And Albertsons has that brand awareness, and they do have the same options that Smith has, except for, this location's a little bit further north in a newer strip mall. So we just took a tour of the far Northeast Heights, and I want you to feel why it's one of the best places in town to be. The next neighborhood on our tour is the jewel of Albuquerque. It's known as High Desert. Natural landscaping, but it's a master plan, so it's very well thought out with walking trails and hiking trails. You're still gonna have wild animals running around, which kind of gives it some value, I think, and it makes it a little bit more unique. So if you're looking for modern adobe, luxury style, large expansive homes, 3-car garage, High Desert can be a place for that. There's also options for smaller townhomes, to a gated community in this area, and single level homes if you hate stairs. Your property will have an HOA payment and higher taxes because it costs a fortune to develop this neighborhood, and it really shows. It's one of the most fantastic places to be in all of Albuquerque. If you're looking for a neighborhood that's tucked up close to the mountain with larger lots and the neighbors not right so all up in your business, then let's explore Sandia Heights. Now, my best friend grew up in Sandia Heights. Oh, and he was always younger than me, so he never had a driver's license. So he'd always be like, hey, can you come get me? It's not that far now as an adult, but as a kid, I'd be like, God, I gotta go pick this kid up again in Sandia Heights. And so Sandia Heights, the homes are large and the lots are huge, but there's no really defined outdoor yard space. And that's one thing that I think is a con of living in this area, is that you open your door and you're just in the desert, right? There's no like lawn, you don't have like a lawn or like a dedicated area where you can play wiffle ball. And so, yeah, and then going to his house, we play, wiffle ball or stick ball. So anytime that we went out to play, you'd always hit a home run or something that would land in cactus. And there's like rattlesnake everywhere trying to chase the ball down. So it was always a pain in the ass as a kid. Now as an adult, I'd love to live in Sandia Heights. Each home is unique. And again, built in the 70s, 80s, 90s. So all the homes are gonna be needing an update, but property taxes are much lower and no HOA payment, which is what people really love about it. Coming up next, say you want to live in the Northeast Heights for all the reasons we discussed, the property values, the good schools, the newer shopping centers. You don't want to live too close to the mountain where you're going to have no yard and older homes. Well, there's an opportunity to buy newer homes with nice big yards that are manicured. I want to introduce you to Primrose. Now in this area, I've showed some fantastic homes in this area, like a $2 million home. Felt like you're in a resort. Now I'll leave a link to that video up here so that you can watch that tour. So if you're looking for a nice neighborhood with manicured lawns and neighbors that really care about where they live, Primrose is a fantastic option. We just took a tour of the far Northeast Heights, which is one of the most desirable parts of town to be in. We showed you the top 5 neighborhoods to be in, one hidden gem, what the shopping and the schools all look like. So if you took value from this video, do me a favor and just go ahead and tap that like button, leave a comment below. How do I usually end these videos? Wait! Before you leave, I want to share another video I think you might find informative by clicking up here. And lastly, friends, don't forget to subscribe here by clicking this link to stay up to date with future videos. As always, visit soldbyskip.com for a free list of homes priced to sell. Thanks for watching.